Wow. Courage just walked in, guys. This tutorial is actually made for Courage. Yes. Hey girl, I'm really happy that you're back because we're gonna do the second piece to makeup for beginners. So you saw earlier that we got your skin super prepped for what we're about to do. And I just finished wrapping basically this video that I'm about to walk you into. So you can see right now I have on foundation, but it's more than just putting on foundation. I went through so much with you that you're gonna be like, holy cow, thank you for this. No one's ever told me any of this information before. And I feel so much better going into performing my makeup. So, are you ready? Well, let's jump right in and let's do our face together. And make sure in the comments that you drop any questions, anything that you're like, hey Amber, I really want to know XYZ, right? Drop them there. I'm the one that reads them, and I will make sure to answer all of your questions, if not even answer them in video for you, and give you a little shout out. So when you do get your whole face on though, it would be super amazing to get that tagged in IG stories. And then I go ahead and put that out everywhere, feature you in my highlights. I love seeing that you are getting the most out of your cosmetics. So I'm excited to see you on the inside of this video. And if you're new here, then you know what? Welcome. Okay, I don't want to scare you off right now, but let me just tell you something. You're going to be addicted and you're going to be binge watching everything on this channel. It's a really cool place to be. So I'm excited to hang out with you, and you're my girl, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's go. All right, we're getting started with the whole process of basically putting our face on. So I know you're ready for that. So I love to clip my hair back, because if I am putting on any makeup, I just want my hair out of the way. So I use these cute little silver clips that you can get on Amazon. I think I found these also at Target. I also have colorful ones too that are cute. So whatever you need to use to clip your hair back, or just place it in a bun, but just kind of get it out of your face so you can work and you don't have hair all over the place, right? Because typically when grabbing your brushes, hair can give you a lot of, like, get in your face, you know what I mean? So basically your brush will pick up hair. Blah. Okay, here we go. So if you have oily skin, this is what you want to do. So in the last video I talked about for this series was going ahead and like putting your foundation primer on, and then you can get right into putting your foundation on, which is your base. So if you have oily skin and you really want to control that oil throughout the day, placing this finishing spray first all over your face, and it has a spritzer so you can spray that. And then we're gonna do your foundation primer and go into the next product. So I don't have oily skin, but I am gonna be recording a lot today. So I'm gonna go ahead and just spray my face just to go ahead and get it set. So shake this well, spray, kind of just let it soak right in. I take my hands, I wave my face just like this. And then it's absorbed, and then I go back in and do my foundation primer. So foundation primer is really helping the base layer. It's gonna help your foundation perform best. It's also gonna help the longing of the foundation stay. So you want longevity of the foundation. You don't want it to, you know, come off midday or not look as fresh midday. So we're gonna do this foundation primer. Has SPF 15 in it, so it has a good SPF layer in there for your skin. And so just taking this, there's no wrong way to put foundation primer on, but one of the biggest things when you're rubbing your skin is to start right here at the nose, right, and pull up. Like take your fingers from your nose to up on your cheekbone, jawline, and go up right around your forehead. Just kind of move it up, and then just repeat that. And then right around your jawline too, so like your décolleté, your neck area, little fancy term, décolleté, and then just kind of grab it there. And then you should be primed all over. And then you can let that soak in for about 30 seconds. So I always love to just let that sit, soak in, and then you know it's gonna give its best performance too. So always give your product a few minutes before applying the next step. So there is that. Now, if your skin is oily, and depending on the season, it could be spring, summer, right? In those seasons, you tend to possibly get a little bit more oily. Winter, like fall to winter, you tend to get a little drier. So depending on what season it is for you and what the climate feels like, then this oil mattifier is awesome. Go ahead and apply this on your skin in the areas that tend to carry a little bit more of the oil. And if your skin is like not oily, it's just a little dewy, and you like that look, keep it. So you don't have to matte your skin. But if you're oily, you know you're oily, and you're like, nah, this is a lot of oil on my skin, let's get rid of it. So I just want you to show you this oil mattifier. I don't always need it. More liquidy, as you can see there. So if you just rub this together and put it in the areas that tend to get a lot of excess oil, then you want to go ahead and apply that there. So again, I don't have a lot of oiliness. Right now, the season that I'm in is spring. And so my skin is good right now, and I don't want to matte it any more than I need to. So I need extra hydration for my skin. All right, so that's another step to look for when you are a beginner with makeup, just to make sure the undercarriage of your cosmetics is gonna be up to par, so it can help your makeup perform best. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna jump into is foundation. It's making a choice in the foundations that you want to use. So you can use a full coverage foundation, you can use a cream to powder foundation, you can even use a CC foundation. This right here is my favorite foundation. So I'm going to talk about this one first. It is the 3D foundation. It's age fighting, and I know it's age fighting because it is labeled time-wise. So out of this Mary Kay collection, that's how I can indicate that. But it's a 3D. The 3D stands for it delivers, it defends, and it delays. And that's helping with your skin. So it's gonna deliver results, it's gonna delay aging, and it's gonna defend the skin. So there's a lot in this tube that really is going to enhance your skin, not only with the color and the pigmentation and evening out your tones, but it's also helping with aging for your skin. So it's fighting against everything around your face and in the world, the pollution, all the things. It's protecting it through the day. Like, oh, this foundation has a 3 undertone. So it has a neutral, it has a warm, and a cool. And so depending on how your skin is, then you can pick the undertone, and then we can work on the coloring of this foundation. I'm gonna link below how to pick the best foundation. That is right here on my channel. So it's talking about this 3D foundation. So I will go into that more on that tutorial, but for today, I just want to kind of show you the performance and the texture of these foundations. So there's that. Then we have a CC cream, which CC cream is a wonderful foundation because it is a really kind of like an idiot-proof foundation. It's like you can't mess this up, right? So the CC cream, it really helps with 8 benefits of anti-aging. So, but it gives a little bit of color to help brighten your skin, and it has a smooth SPF of 15. I say smooth because it's like, ugh, it's like butter. It's just a good level of SPF, especially for like just an ongoing daily. But yeah, I love this one as well. And I'm gonna chat about that so you can see the difference there. And then there is a cream to powder. So these are very creamy foundations. If you tend to be in the climates of like a lot of humidity, a lot of moisture in the air, right? But also your skin is extremely oily, to the oilier side, right? Then this cream to powder is gonna be your bestie. So one of my friends, Ashley, also has a channel on YouTube. She talks about a comparison from cream to powder to, I think it was like a CVS brand of foundation, not really sure the brand, but anyways, it was a really good tutorial. So I will link her video below too. It was really awesome, and you can check that out. But here is this cream to powder. So it's a really cool foundation as well. So what we're gonna talk about now is picking your foundation, and I want you to see the difference in these in the texture, but also the tools that you need. So we have first, which is this brush right here. This was a liquid foundation brush. You can see it has a slant to it. It definitely is going to have some movement to it as well. This is a wonderful brush to have almost that airbrush foundation effect. And then there is a blending brush. So this blending brush is a great brush. Now, I love it for different reasons. I don't love it for an all over foundation, but I do love to get under my eyes with this sometimes if I need it to, but I really go for this brush for more contouring. But you can see this is a blending brush. And then the next tool is a beauty blender. So this beauty blender is my favorite, my favorite. I love this. I use it for almost everything on my face. I'm obsessed. So yeah, I think it's just a preference, and I know it's a preference because every woman has their different opinions. So I'm going to show you the application of these. And again, I was talking about this brush kind of gives you that airbrush look. This one really helps you layer and get the fullness of the coverage. And then we have a good blender brush. I actually recommend having all three in your makeup bag because you will use them for different things. So I'm going to first start with my finger, and I'm just going to show you right here this foundation out of the 3D line. This foundation right here is Beige N 150, and I'm just going to apply it right here on my cheek. Okay, so we can just kind of see that. Wow, look at that coverage already. I love this stuff. It's my favorite, probably because it matches me like butter, honey. All right, and then here's CC cream, and I need a little bit deeper than that, which is right beside me in my makeup case. I just grabbed this one instead. I was like, oh, CC cream, let me grab it. This is not even the right color for me. I need to actually be like light to medium, and I may grab that out of my case in just a second, but you can kind of see that. Whoa. You can see how like this changes so much. Isn't that cool? I love that, so cool. Okay, and then we have our cream foundation. So I'm just gonna take my finger and this cream, and I'm just gonna rub it on my nose like that. So there's 3 different foundations. So this is how I know I like a foundation. I go off of the feeling of it. After it sits for a minute, I can see how it sits and how my skin reacts and takes to it. And then I see which one is going to perform the best, right? So out of this, I can be like, okay, this one I could already see 100% like a full coverage difference. I can see where it is definitely, it's warmed up to my skin, so it's called oxidizing, because once your foundation kind of gets a little bit of air to it, it ends up tending to change colors and it gets the warmth from your skin. So that's what helps with the undertone. So you'll see that in that other video that's listed below in the description. I can see right here to this one on my nose, it is a lot more drying to my skin because my skin is a drier side than oily. So I can see if my skin was a little bit more on the oilier side, then I would probably love this. But I'm just like, it's just not really what I like for my skin. And then this CC cream, I'm like, it's cute and it's great, but I don't know. I love it. But for today's look, I want more full coverage. But you can see that, super great. And then I'm just gonna take this in right here. And you can see that too, really good coverage. So I love CC cream, love it, but I want more full coverage today. This is my 100% love this foundation, and this is like if I'm super oily. So there we go. So I know for sure I'm gonna go here. This would be my second, this would be my third if I needed it. All right, so now I'm just gonna take my eye makeup remover and I'm gonna wipe this off, and I'm gonna start with my foundation all over my face. So remove that and we'll start over. All right, I am ready to apply my foundation. So what I prefer to do is I take this blender, and you can see one side is pointy, one side is flat. I take my foundation and I apply it all over the flat end, and then I just go and work this all around my face. And typically, if you're using this liquid, if you're like, I'd rather do a brush on my face and then go back and blend with the blender, you can do that as well. I just tend to notice with this brush, you really need to pat in where you want it. So I'm gonna do this brush on one side, I'm gonna do the blender on the other, just so you can kind of see how you apply with both. And that way you can decide which one you rather have, and you can just honestly see the performance, and you may want both. So that's really great, right? So before I do my foundation everywhere, I really check out my skin, and I notice like if there's a breakout, if there's a lot of, you know, uneven skin tones, then I want to add a little extra coverage before I apply my foundation. So what I like to do is I will take my concealer, and I get the tone that would match my skin, which this is a light beige concealer, and I would just go, are there any areas on my skin that I just need to give a little extra coverage before I get started? I don't see any right now, but if I did, I just want you to kind of see the difference. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add like a little dark spot right here on my cheek, and this is just brow liner. So I'm just gonna add a little dark spot here, and let's do like a little dark spot right here. Okay, so I'm gonna just let that sit for a minute, and I'll probably, because I just want y'all to see the difference, right? And I'll probably just take some translucent powder over it just to set it, just to know that it's not gonna like just start rubbing off. Okay, so there's that. So if you had a breakout, right, this could have been red or anything, or it could just be like scarring and it is dark, then you would take your concealer. So there's also two products, I don't know if you have these out of the Mary Kay collection, or if you can find these anywhere else, but there's a green and a purple. The green counteracts the red in your skin, so it's going to help just take away that red. And if you find that your skin is very dull and it's not bright at all and it's just like bleh, then you can do a purple, and that really helps bring some brightness into your skin tone. And you can apply this underneath your foundation, and it makes a big difference too. So I'll really show a difference there too, because I find when you're doing makeup and you are a brand new beginner in this, there are a lot of beauty products that you could pick from. Well, I want you to really feel very comfortable going into using beauty products, going, oh, okay, I saw that in the store, I'm gonna get it, right? Or hey, I talked to my consultant, which I prefer you do. Find someone that you trust and confide in for your cosmetics and your skincare. Talk to that consultant that really has a lot of knowledge and expertise behind product, and that way you know that you're getting what you should be using, right? Not just wasting a ton of money. All right, so I'm gonna go into this concealer. So this is light beige, and it just matches my skin tone. So if I had a dark spot, I'm just gonna do this right here. And makeup for beginners, you can be young, under 20, you can be like older, 50s, 60s, it does not matter. I think that you are always at a place where you're like, actually, I've never been taught this, please teach me. So that's what I'm here to do. So you would take that right there, and you just let it sit for a minute before you actually blend it out. So I'm just gonna let it blend into my skin and do its magic. I don't have a lot of redness in my skin right now, except underneath my nose. You saw that in my last tutorial. You know, it's like sometimes I get little flare-ups. So I'm just gonna take this green right here underneath my nose, and that's it. But if you have a lot of redness in your skin tone, which typically if you are like a cool undertone, your skin pulls more red, right? So if that is the case, then put some green on your cheeks and blend it out. Put it on your eyelids, whatever is like typically really red, then do that. And if you have any dullness, typically the dullness happens like right at the top of that cheekbone that you want to add a lot of lightness to. So like right here above the brow, around that cheek. So I'm just gonna add some of this purple right through the top of that cheekbone, and I'm gonna blend that out as well. I'm gonna use a brush this was a cream brush, which I'm obsessed with. You can see I use this a ton. I probably need to open up a new one. You see that, where it's like pulling on the side? Yeah, girl, honey, it's because I use it all the time. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work with the green first, and I'm just gonna brush it all around underneath my nose, just to get that blended, because you don't want like a green streak. Not doing that. And that really just takes away that red. Super great, right? Okay, I'm gonna wipe out my cloth, with my cloth here. Wipe out my brush with my cloth. All right, and now I'm gonna take that purple. You see this hair? I'm gonna take that purple and I'm just gonna go right on that cheekbone and blend that in. And blend for your life. Blend that in there. Okay, so you can see this area right here. It's like, ooh, I do not see that dark spot, but you do see the concealer. So I'm just gonna take this brush. You can use a brush or a blender, but I'm just gonna take this brush and I'm just gonna like blend around the outer part of this concealer, not really on the dark area, but around the dark area. See what I mean? Magic. And then I'm gonna take it right here too. I did this years ago with a Sharpie all over my face. People were like, no, don't do it. And I was like, girl, come off, it's cool. It's cool, I ain't sweating it. But I had like hearts, dots. It was cute. It was a cute look. So if it stayed, I was like, at least I know I can cover it up for a couple more days. But it came off. It came off after, because I'd like prepped my skin, right? I had like creams and I had primers and all the things. And then it came off with my skincare. It was amazing. Okay, so it covered up the dark spots. So don't panic for going like, okay, I'm putting on my foundation and now it didn't cover up my dark areas. Well, this foundation will help to really do as much as you can underneath before you just apply the first layer. So you can see that right here, and boom, I'm ready for my first layer. So we're gonna go in with the blender on one side, and I just kind of do a little bit of back and forth motions, probably like 3 to 5 times. And I'm just gonna do, this is my left side, so it's to your right, but it's my left. So I'm just gonna take it and pat it, and now I'm just gonna start blending it. And this is a rule. You need your foundation to match your skin tone. Don't use a foundation where you have to continue to blend down your neck, up on your ear, around the back, because you're like, oh my gosh, I need to blend this. It does not match. You know, just really go either up a shade or down a shade, whatever it is, unless you're doing like a photo shoot and that's just like what y'all are intending to use. But for everyday foundation, make sure it matches your skin tone. Do some stripe tests. That's why I find it very important to have someone that you can consult in about the products that you're going to use. And that's what I'm here to do for you. So you can use me or anybody else, but I'm basically the bomb. So, okay, here's this. And voila, look at that coverage. So good. And you can see from my neck to my ear, like it matches, right? So there's not panicking like, oh my gosh, I've got to blend, I've got to blend. That looks really nice. Perfect foundation. I love that. I'm gonna go in now with this brush and I'm gonna show you the same type of technique. I like to take my foundation and I squirt it right on my brush. Now, the difference is you can take your foundation, you can apply it on the back of your hand. So this would be this would be reference to your palette, right? You're using your hand as your palette. So what you're doing is you're taking your brush and you're scooping your foundation and you're applying it. You can even squirt your foundation out of your tube and scoop it and apply it, or put it right on top of your brush. A lot of the reasons women don't like to squirt it directly into their brush, and you'll hear this from makeup artists, it seeps more down into your brush. But if you take your brush like this and then you pat it, then it's just like a real even layer all over the brush that you can see, and so it doesn't have the time to like absorb and drip down into the brush heads, because if you get a lot of clumpiness of foundation down to your brush, it can help loosen up the hairs, and then your brushes don't last as long. So there's a little rule of thumb, different ways, but we'll take it today and do this. When I use this brush, I want to pat it everywhere first, and then I will start rubbing it. So I just pat it because that helps you kind of have more of that airbrush look. And you can see great coverage. It's just a technique. It's different than a blender. And I get it everywhere. And once I feel like I have a good even layer of it, then that's when I start moving my brush around. I'll pick up whatever's left on my hand, and then I'll take it right around my eyes, gentle around the eyes, around the mouth, ear, jaw, hairline, and around the brows. And then you can just repat. And you can see the dark is still covered up because I did the concealer underneath it. And it's great. So the difference in this, honestly, it's just a preference. So I still feel like I, on my skin, get just about the same results. But I love the technique of a beauty blender. I love how it feels on my skin. I mean, I just love this feeling. It feels so good. So I get asked a lot in the DMs and also in the comments right here on my channel how I prep my sponge. So I take really amazing soap that I use. Like, it's like almost a dish soap. It's really heavy duty, and I take it, and it's like an organic one as well, but I take it and I just like wash through my brush, my blender, and then I just like wash it and I squeeze, water, squeeze, water. And then I just continue to repeat, and then I rinse, and then I repeat, and then I rinse. And then I take a towel just like this, or even paper towels, and I just wring it out, and then it's damp. So that's how I perform with my blender. And then it's ready to use right there. So that is my technique, and it feels so good on the skin. As you can see, I'm still blending away, and I don't even need to, but it feels really nice. I have not put any foundation on my eyelids. I'm not against it at all. I tend to do my eyes always before my foundation. So I'm kind of doing things a little backwards right now because I really want to focus on beginner stages, right, of your makeup. And so what we're working on is the base. We're not even going to do eyeshadow or anything like that today. I just really want to work through the base of getting your face prepped for, for an everyday look, because I find if you can get a good foundation, you can get powder, and you can kind of highlight your skin a little bit, then you like, boom, hey honey, let's go. And you feel really good. Okay, so now what I want to do is a concealer. This is a deep ivory concealer and a light ivory concealer. The color difference between these is like a tiny bit off. I mean, nothing major, but I'm a light beige, so I can use both. Now I prefer the light ivory just because I'm extra about it. But yeah, you can do whichever one, and I tend to kind of go back and forth depending on what's in my makeup case, or if one was sold out or out of stock or something of that nature. So what you want to do now after your foundation, just to kind of get a really good overview of your whole face, is you want to just take it in just like this, right in the inner part of your eye, right next to your nose, and then right out here from your eyeball, right? So you can just see where I placed it. Sometimes my words are like, what are you talking about, Amber? What is this? But you can see my placement. So the inner part of the eye, right underneath on the side of the nose. So when you're applying your concealer like this, it's going to actually pull your face up. So I find that you're gonna see a lot of trends, Pinterest, YouTube, of course, YouTube, TikTok, all the things, right? And you're like, oh, there's so many ways I can do concealer. Let me just slap it on and put it all over my face. Well, great, do that, fine, but do you want the best out of your cosmetics? And that's what I'm here to help you do. Trends change, so this is a great new technique to kind of put in your placement. So applying your concealer right here in the inner corner and right here on the top of that high cheekbone, taking it up almost into the hairline, is actually gonna help lift your face. I did my makeup the other day. My sister saw me in person. She's like, your face looks very lifted. And I was like, yeah, it's how I did my makeup today. And it's just so crazy. Those little extra changes make a big difference. So now we're going to take the blender to the pointier side, and we're going to blend it out. The apple of our cheek, we don't want to carry concealer too low down here because it's going to drag our eye down. We want to keep the light up. So here we go. Let's blend it in. I'm taking little pat. You can just see how I'm just like stipple, basically pulling it up, the side of my nose, keeping that light. And you can see how that just pulls up. Love that. Perfect. All right, you did a really good job. Okay, that looks really nice. Send me some pictures in the DM. Actually, the best place to do is go to Instagram, Amber Lykins, and then just tag me. Just tag me in your stories. I'll reshare it, and then I'll put it in my highlights. And then, you know, my other clients, I send them to that later, and they're like, oh, so cute. I saw your clients, you know. And it's really helpful. It's super inspiring. So, all right, now I want to just show you a few techniques before we like finish off your second series to makeup for beginners. What I just did now is I took the highlight right in the center of the forehead, just really in that low place, because it's just gonna allow your skin, your face to look very airy. It's just bright. It just looks like, you know, it's not that one tone. It's just like, oh, it's like where the sun kind of highlights and kisses your skin. Do you know what I mean? These are the areas that are the highest points of your face, and the sun hits them, and it just like, oh, just look bright and airy, you know what I mean? So that's what we want to do. Go right down the center of the nose, right here in the Cupid's bow, and boom, the chin. So we're gonna brighten this area here. There is a third video I'm gonna add in my description. This channel is so dope. I have so many things I want to share with y'all, but that's why I love my channel, because everything's right here on my channel. So below also is a nose tutorial. How to sculpt your nose. Literally one of the best things ever, because everybody's nose is very different. And so it's like, how do I do my nose? Go check that out, and that'll help you a lot when you're actually contouring your nose. But right now we're just highlighting, just doing a little highlight. So right here on the chin. So if you're watching right now and you have not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, go ahead and do it. But if you have subscribed and you hang out with me all the time, you're amazing. And when the commercials pop up, just go in the comments and ask a question. I'll make sure I answer that in the third video to the series, because we're gonna wrap that up, and I wanna make sure that I answer all of your questions. And if there's something that you want to see on my channel that's not yet here, ask that, and I'll make sure that I put in a request to my producer. We'll see if we can get you on. Haha, kidding. I am the producer. Oh. Okay, so there's that. You have on your foundation, you worked on how to actually give your skin more coverage, how to take care of the dryness to the oiliness. Your skin looks so good. I feel right now you could do powder and you could just rock out your day. So that's what we're gonna wrap up with. We're gonna just brush through your brows. We're not even gonna do brows or eyeshadow, but if you're doing your makeup look today and you want to achieve a full face, go right here and stay on my channel, because right now you're in the playlist of cosmetics and eyes. And so you can see another video right here on my channel that will help you with that until you see the rest of the series. But right now we're gonna go ahead and just powder the skin. Big powder brush, boom, right here. We're gonna go in this translucent powder, and I'm actually going to do my translucent powder with two different brushes. I'm gonna go in with this angled brush, which is my contour cheek brush, but I'm gonna take this high point here, and I'm gonna get right underneath my eyes. And I'm gonna set that concealer so it's real bulletproof for the rest of the day. And I'm going to set the concealer all the way down the center of the face, just to make sure everything's good and bulletproof. And then I just kind of wipe up the edges of that and pull that through. So, voila! All right, well, I hope that this was so helpful to get you from step A to step Z coming up. But right now we're right in the middle. And yeah, this is a really good place to be. So I cannot wait to read your comments. I am so excited to do a huge giveaway, which is coming up soon, with 15,000 subscribers to this channel, which we are like so close, inches away. It's like so much stuff in this swag bag. It's unreal. I'm also gonna link that in the descriptions. Don't miss anything. So stay right here on this channel, subscribe. I cannot wait to see you every Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So be right here, but as a subscriber, you always get notified first, so you don't miss any upload or any live video that I do here on my channel as well. So I love hanging out with you and being the beauty educator for you. So always know that you can DM me and comment, and I'll be the one to read those and get back to you ASAP. So I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have an amazing day and stay flawless. See you, girl.